all spiritual. We know that God is good.
Yeah.
And you actually got the docu-series Behind the Faith that you're doing now. Tell us about
talented brothers on Insecure, and she created this series and directed this series, and she actually approached me last spring. We had a mutual friend, and she asked if they would put us in touch, and we talked on the phone. And at first it was interesting because I was skeptical and like, talk about my faith, talk about Jesus. Like I don't know that I necessarily felt qualified or that anyone would be interested in what I had to say. But I talked to her and I prayed about it, and definitely felt like whatever scrutiny comes, when I'm working as an actress, there is a certain veil between us because I'm playing a character. Mm-hmm. Now people feel like when they meet me, they feel like they know me because I've been fortunate enough to been working for such a long time, and I've been in their homes for such a long time. They've invited me in and welcomed me in on various shows. But when you're speaking as yourself, when you're being interviewed and you're talking about something so important to you and so intimate, and there is no character to hide behind. This is me, my thoughts, my experience. I definitely knew that it was potentially going to bring some criticism, some mockery, some whatever, some dismissal. So I definitely had to be humbled about whether or not I felt that I could handle it. And I'm grateful to say that I did it. It became bigger than me, because for me, sharing a part of the story is really about definitely things that I've done to cultivate. But in terms of just the blessings of my life, the core of where they come from, I thought it was important to share and give people access. And if it works for you, if it's something that resonates with you, if it's something you're curious about, then great. And if it isn't, then that's fine too. I don't need someone else to agree with me to feel good about my truth.
Amen.
We actually have a clip of your show. Let's take a look at it. Behind Her Faith. We have a clip right now. Let's take a look.
I had no idea that Christ and the relationship is personal. It's not somewhere up there. It's personal. It's in the lion's den with you. It is in the fire. It's not like, I'm up here and I'm just hovering and I'm just bestowing, and it's it's not fairy dust. God is with you. He's right there.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to that.
Love that.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Essence, I'm very spiritual. In Hollywood, what has tested your faith? Being in Hollywood, knowing how fake it is, because let me tell you something. One of my partners, right, I grew up with, people don't know I'm very spiritual, and me and him started talking about it. We grew up with each other since we were little bitty kids. I started talking over this coronavirus, and I started talking spiritual, and he just went a whole different way. You know what I mean? And it really pissed me off, right? And I was like, dude, we talking about God. God is real. You know what I mean? And he kind of shunned me. And I blocked his ass. And, seriously, nigga, I'm not fucking with you no more.
Hold on.
At the end of the day,
It's the balance, Donnie.
I know the balance is real, but the thing about it is what, sometimes people don't understand about me, that I'm very spiritual, and Hollywood can be so fake. So what has tested your faith, being in this fake industry as Hollywood is?
There's a myriad of things that have tested my faith that aren't, I don't think, necessarily specific to the business, but I think prevalent in life, just disappointment, just the constant change and scrutiny and the meanness that sometimes is prevalent in this business. I mean, there's not many industries where you can unabashedly criticize someone's appearance, how they speak, what they look like, without apology. Like that, if you work in a corporation and you did that, that's a serious HR issue, and people get fired over that. You know what I mean? But in my business, they can talk about every little detail to give you feedback on why you weren't hired or why they don't want to see you. You're too old. All of these things are perfectly legitimate, not having anything to do based on whether or not you can actually execute the job. And so that's trying. So it's that much more important, I think, to be affirmed without needing accolades and other people to validate you, you know, to know who you are, to know your worth, and to be able to move forward and continue on without necessarily a material thing manifesting all the time to give you your security, or to tell you it's worth it, or you're doing it correctly, or you're good at what you do, or any of those things. Like, really, the inner work is so important, so that you don't suffocate or get strangled by other people's opinions of you, which they are happy to express. I mean, I think social media is giving other people a taste of what actors have been enduring for many, many years.
Yeah, absolutely.